Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bukan Sembarang Talk Show. Today, we are going to have a very special topic that we haven't covered before. Our topic today is classroom management. So, we will have a kind of conversation and sharing session with our special guests. Can anyone guess who our guest will be today? So, our first guest is a student. She is in the second grade of senior high school at SMA Negeri 3 Salatiga, majoring in language and culture. She is interested in becoming an elementary school teacher. That's why she is here today on our talk show to share her opinion about classroom management from a student's perspective. Everyone, please welcome our first guest, Christina Aprilia. Hello.
Hello,
How are you today?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for inviting me in this great talk show. I'm very glad to be here.
I should be the one thanking you for being on our talk show. By the way, what should I call you, Christina or Aprilia?
You can call me Christine, Miss.
Oh, Christine, okay. All right, we already have Christine here. But before we talk any further, we still have one more guest. Our second guest is a junior in the English language education program at Universitas Kristen Satewacana Salatiga. She has an interest in teaching, especially teaching teenagers. She is currently joining the Teaching English for Adult Learners course. Today, she is here to share her thoughts about managing a classroom based on a student-teacher or pre-service teacher perspective. Everybody, please welcome our second guest, Miss Candra Dewi. Hello, Miss Candra Dewi. How are you today?
Hello, Miss Akila. I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Okay. By the way, what should I call you, Miss? Miss Candra or Miss Dewi?
You can call me Candra.
Oh, okay. All right. We've got our two guests for today's talk show. Christine, how is school life these days? Can you share a little about your student life lately?
Okay, thank you, Miss Akila. Well, my student life is like any other students because it is my last year in high school, so I'm a little bit busy. I'm busy with preparation for my final exam and collect entrance exam. In Indonesian, we said SBMPTN. And currently, I'm also taking some lessons to prepare myself for those exams.
Which college do you want to go to, Christine?
I do not yet, but either Universitas Kristen Satewacana or Universitas Diponegoro.
That's cool. Good luck for your exams.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, and how about you, Miss Chandra? How is life being a student teacher? May we know a little about one or two of your interesting experiences as a student teacher?
Sure. Well, the semester is almost over, so there are a lot of assignments to do. And also, this is my third year of college, so I have gone through many courses that gave me interesting and new insight, especially about teaching. And recently, I learned about organizing a lesson plan that surprisingly has many factors to be considered behind the process. And I learned a lot from it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I know the third year of college must not be easy for every student. By the way, keep the spirit and good luck in your third year of college. Okay, so we've heard short stories and experiences from our two guests. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we will have a sharing session about classroom management, how to motivate students, how to manage constraints, and how to manage the teacher's role in the classroom. So previously we have uploaded a post on our social media for Bukan Sembarang Talk Show's followers so that they can send their question regarding to the topic of classroom management. We have selected an interesting question from a preservist teacher named Amanda. Amanda is from Indonesia and she said, "Hi, I want to ask a question. So I carried out my internship program in Thailand last semester. Once I walked into a classroom full of teenage students, and about half of them seemed very involved in a loud discussion in their own language, Thai. I needed to start the lesson soon, but at that time I was having a really hard time dealing with it. Do you have any suggestions on how to deal with it if this kind of situation happens again? Thank you." All right. I think this question is for our two speakers, so we can get two opinions from both sides of a student and a teacher. Okay, maybe for Christine first. In your opinion, what would you do to get students' attention so that the teacher can start his or her lesson?
Well, this is the first strategy from my English teacher to grab her student attention. My English teacher often stands in front of the class quietly and waits for us until the class is conducive.
I see. So your teacher often stands in front of the class quietly and waits for the students. Can you explain more about the situation after your teacher stands in front of the class and waits? And then what usually happens in the class? How are the students' attitudes towards your teacher?
Okay, let me tell you about an experience that's similar to this question. This experience happened a week ago at the start of my English lesson. Because my English lesson is after the break time, so me and my friends were still chatting, and there are several of my friends were still engrossed in playing Mobile Legends. And after that, my English teacher came into the classroom. She stood in front of the class without saying anything, and she waited for us until the class was conducive, and all our attention was on her. After the class was conducive, she started the lesson by greeting all of the students.
Oh, okay. Then what if the others are already quiet, but there is still one or maybe two students who are still busy with their stuff?
If there is one of my friends were still busy with he or she stuff, she will look in the direction of my friends until he or she notices it.
Oh, okay. Is there any other way that your teacher usually uses?
Yes, there is one more way to grab her student attention. She usually uses a sound clue, or she makes a sound clue to let us know that she is going to start the lesson.
Oh, using a sound clue. Honestly, I'm not really familiar with the term. Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, she claps her hands and then she says, "Attention, please," or "Can I get your attention, please?" Or if this strategy doesn't work, she sometimes makes another sound clue by tapping the table with her hands, and so that she can get our attention and she can start the lesson.
Oh, okay. So a sound clue is like making sounds like taping the table or maybe taping the whiteboard. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think about that? Do you like when your teacher uses a sound clue or do you feel bothered?
Yeah, sometimes it makes me feel surprised, but I don't really bother by it because I understand that it is one of her strategies to grab her students' attention.
Oh, okay. From the strategies from your teacher that you have explained, Do you think these methods are effective? And do you recommend these methods to be applied to other teachers?
In my opinion, I highly recommend these two strategies from my English teacher to be applied by others class, by other teachers. For the first strategy, I think this strategy, it's not only grab students' attentions, but it can also make students more sensitive to the environment around them. By increasing their sensitivity toward the environment around them, they will also learn how to respect others. And for the second strategy, I think this is the most effective strategy to get student attention, because by making a sound school, students will immediately notice it, and also all their attention will be on the sound.
Oh, okay. So you highly recommend this method to be used for other teachers, including Amanda, who previously asked this question. All right. Thank you, Christine, for sharing your opinions and experiences. That's really amazing. Everybody, please give her a very big round of applause. Okay. Now let's listen to the opinion of Miss Candra. Miss Chandra, still with the same question. If you were in the same situation as Amanda, what would you do to get the students' attention so that you can start your lesson soon?
Okay, if I'm in that kind of situation, I will start counting backwards.
Oh, how will you do that? Can you explain in more detail?
Okay, sure. I will count down from 5 or 10, depending on the situation. And before I start to count, I will let the students know my expectation, and I will inform them that I will start the countdown soon.
Why 5 or why 10?
Well, if the students are really noisy and probably need a longer time to prepare themselves, I will go with 10. But if I think it is not too noisy and the students can prepare themselves fast, counting down from 5 is enough, in my opinion.
Oh, I see. Is it possible to use another count like 15, 20 or something?
Well, as I mentioned before, it depends on the situation. 15 or 20 may work, but counting down from 20 is a little bit tiring, right?
Yeah, it must be tiring if you have to count like 20, 19, 18 until 1. All right, you said that the counting depends on the class situation, right? Is there any other factor besides that? I mean, besides the class situation?
Okay, I will try to answer the question. Well, the teacher also can adjust the countdown depending on the students' characters. For example, the students who are disciplined and sensitive probably only need 5 countdowns to notice that the teacher wants to get their attention. But on the other hand, for students who are ignorant, they likely need more than 5 countdowns to notice the teacher.
Oh, I see. Earlier you said that you would let them know your expectation before starting the countdown. What do you mean by that?
And talking about the expectation that I talked about previously tends to be my wish or my order to the students. And in that part, I will communicate the order. I will say that I want the students to do something. For example, before starting the countdown, I can say, after this, I want you to sit down and prepare your course book, for example.
Oh, okay. Previously, you also said that you would let the students know that you will start the countdown after telling them about your expectation. Can you explain more about that?
Okay. And after communicating my expectation, I will continue with informing that I will start the countdown soon. Previously, I said, after this, I want you to sit down and prepare your course book, right? And now I will continue with something like this. I give you 5 seconds to do it, and I will start to count down from 5. And I want you to be ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0.
Oh, interesting. Do you think the countdown technique is effective? And if yes, how can it be effective?
In my opinion, the technique is effective to be applied in adult learners' classroom because it gives the students time to prepare themselves. It also gives them the time to finish their activity. And in this case, they can finish their discussion. So the teacher doesn't seem to force the students to stop their activity at the moment. And I think it is a good technique to manage the teenagers.
Oh, okay. So you think that the counting technique is effective for adult learners. By the way, Christine, based on the opinion that has been given by Miss Candra, as a student, what do you think about the strategy? Do you agree with that, or do you think that the strategy will work?
Yes, as students, I agree with Miss Chandra. As Miss Chandra said before, we can get more time to prepare ourselves and finish our activity. For example, if I'm still having a conversation with my friend, so I can finish it first. And moreover, I feel more comfortable with this strategy because it doesn't surprise me with some school like those made by my teacher, and I also feel more prepared to follow the lessons.
All right, thank you so much, Christine. Back to Miss Chandra. Besides the counting technique, is there any other technique that you find effective?
Well, yes. And the second technique is doing call and response. So call and response is a statement that is followed by answering a statement. And for example, when the teacher say 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, the student should respond 1, 2, eyes on you, something like that.
Oh, okay. Are there any provisions regarding the words or phrases? Does it have to be 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, or we can use other words?
No, the teacher is free to use other words or other phrases. The teacher also can make their own call and response words.
Oh, interesting. Do you have any tips and tricks in making the call and response so that it can attract students' attention?
Okay, first the teacher can make a unique and interesting call and response, or they can just simply take it from famous movies. For example, when the teacher say to infinity, the students can answer it by saying and beyond, or the teacher can say hakuna, and the students will respond it by saying matata. And the teacher can also involve the students in making the call and response, because I think it will be more effective when the students are involved in the making process, in the making the call and response process. So they probably will be more obedient to it because they are the one who make the call and response words.
Oh, okay. Then how can we apply this techniques step by step? Can you explain further?
Okay, sure. Actually, we can use greetings to apply the call and response in order to get the students' attention before starting the class, starting the lesson. Moreover, in Indonesian classroom, the English teacher usually greets the students by saying like, good morning students or good afternoon students. And the students will reply with good morning teacher or good afternoon teacher. And that kind of greeting already use the concept of call and response. Because the teacher usually starts their class right away after greeting the students in English. So the students will notice that when the teacher greets them in English by saying good morning or good afternoon, it means that the English lesson will start soon. And the greetings becomes a signal to start the English lesson.
Okay. So it should start with greetings. Okay. Is there any other addition or maybe another technique from you, Ms. Chandra?
Well, I think that's all that I can share with you today.
All right then. Thank you so much for the insight, Miss Candra. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and opinions. That's really wonderful. Let's give her a very big round of applause, everyone. All right. We hope that our discussion today can be useful for everyone, especially teachers and pre-service teachers who may face this kind of issue one day. We hope these techniques can be applied to overcome problems like this that might occur. Once again, thank you, Miss Candra and Christine, for coming to Bukan Sembarang Talk Show. Thank you for sharing your opinion, your thoughts, and experiences here. Also, thank you for Bukan Sembarang Talk Show lovers who have watched our show. Stay healthy, stay happy, and see you next week. Goodbye. Have a good day.